All right. So now we have a full HTML page, and you'll notice that the order I lay each of these HTML elements out, that's actually the order they appear in on my web page. So I start with an H1 at the top, and my H1 is the first thing that appears. Same thing for the H3, for the paragraph tag, and for the OL. This is why HTML is known as the skeleton of any web page, because the order we lay them out is actually the order they appear on our page. But there's something missing from this right now. We have absolutely no styling to it. It's all plain text, no customization. And if you look at any web page, it probably has some styling in there. To add styling to our page, we have to use CSS. So I'm going to come down to my terminal right here, and I'm going to touch a bootcamp/style.css file. Once I do that, I should see that file appear in my file tree, and I should be able to select it. It hasn't appeared yet. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to double click it so that it appears in my text editor. Lovely. I'm going to go ahead and close up my file tree again, just like this. And there we go. But I've actually been misleading you a little bit. If you make any web page, the more we start to add to this page, the more complicated this page gets. It's going to start breaking in different ways. That's because we've just thrown a bunch of HTML tags onto the page and haven't actually told the page how to interpret this. To do that, we have to include two more tags that are essential for any page. This is the body tag and the head tag. So I'm actually going to go to the first line and make two spaces up here. Then I'm going to create a head tag at the top and a body tag right below that. The head tag is actually all of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes in any web page. And the body tag is everything we want to be displayed on our page. A good joke that web developers always say is that they're bodybuilders, which means they build the body of any web page, and it's what's actually displayed. I know, you all think it's hilarious, and that I'm a nerd, and you're correct. So I'm going to hit enter in between the body tags to leave a little space. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to get rid of this closing body tag, and I'm going to put it at the end of my page. I'm going to go down to the very bottom down here. I'm going to make a few spaces at the end to give myself some space and create a closing body tag down here. Now, once I've done that, if I save this, you'll notice that nothing changed here. That's good. We don't want anything to change on our page. But now, as I start to make this web page more complex, none of these tags and styles are going to break, which is great. However, inside this body tag, it's kind of hard to tell what's inside the body tag and what's not. To do that, web developers use indentation to indicate nesting. Now, these are two words I'm talking about here. Indentation just means to put a tab in front of each one to give a little space so that we, as developers, as human beings, can tell what is nested inside of what. You'll notice in my ordered list right here, I'm actually nesting each of these LI items inside the ordered list. Nesting refers to putting one item inside of another. And web developers nest everything, or nest everything that we want to display on our page inside the body tag, and everything that we want our page to know about inside the head tag. So if I want to give this page a title, I'm going to call this title My Animal Page, and I save this, nothing will actually change on this page here. That's because whatever I put inside my head is not translated directly to my page. In fact, you won't be able to find My Animal Page anywhere unless you actually go and click on this button and pop it out into another tab. And if you go to the other tab and scroll over the tab on the top, you should be able to see that it's called My Silly Animals. The title only appears when you scroll over the tab up at the top of your browser. So don't worry about most of that right now, but there is actually another really good reason we need to use the head tag. Does anyone know why? What do we put inside the head tag that allows us to create styles? Yes, Luis. Close. We're going to start with a link tag, just like this. And inside the link tag, we need two attributes. One is called rel. And it's a self-closing tag. The rel just tells it what this link is referring to what. Well, we want to make a CSS. We want to link the CSS page right here. And CSS actually stands for Cascading Style Sheets. So we want to make a style sheet here. To do that, I'm going to come back to my page and I'm going to say that it's relatively speaking, it's a style sheet. Now, if I save this, again, it still doesn't know, my page doesn't know that this style I want to apply to this index.html file. So we actually have to specify that exactly, and there's a way to do that. So say I want to make my H1, my header here, red. In CSS, we do that two ways. The first is we create a selector. A selector is we pick the element we want to style. So all I need to do is type out H1, and that's my selector. After each selector, you create an opening squiggly bracket and a closing squiggly bracket, just like this. And now, inside here, I can actually create what's known as declarations. A declaration is just describing what kind of style we want to apply to the H1. In this case, we want to make it red, right? So we have two things here. We have what's known as a property, which is going to be color. And we end that with a colon. And then the value, which we're going to say red. So we have, again, a selector, which is H1, which we follow with the open squiggly bracket. And we close with the closing squiggly bracket. We have a property, which is called color. And a value, which is called red. Now, if I save this file and I refresh this page, you'll notice that nothing changes here. The reason why is because in my index.html file, I haven't told it what style sheet to use yet. The way we do that, does anybody know? That's right. We need to add an href attribute to reference the style.css file. So inside the href attribute, we type in style.css, the exact name of the file. And as soon as we save this and refresh this preview, we should see our red silly animals. Boom. Now we can start to apply style to our page to make it look gorgeous. And that's what we're going to do in the next video.